You're welcome to Tabarma. Tabarma is, today, we're having the maiden edition of Tabarma, is a program where people are going to have a platform where they can have a discussion and that is intimate to them, that they discuss things that they are most passionate about and for the purpose of learning. So the major objective of Tabarma is for us to have a collective platform where we can exchange ideas and have a fruitful discussion. And today's discussion, the maiden edition of Tabarma today the topic is romance under the lens of tradition and modernity. Just to give you a context, in our last Asali, we had, as you all know, if you've been to our Asali open mic session, you know that it's a platform where people talk about things that, they care most about, from gender equality to economic empowerment and also love. Love is a topic that a lot of people care about a lot, and they express their passion towards love on our open mic session. And there has been some kind of divergent ideas or viewpoints that emanated from that open mic presentation last week. 2 weeks ago, right? Yes, 2 weeks ago. So we decided to give a platform for it so that people can freely express their ideas and their viewpoints. By the way, I also want to stress the fact that having this kind of platform is not to castigate your ideas or to castigate your viewpoint. Every viewpoint is very much valid. Whether you are for or against, it doesn't matter. It's valid, it's your viewpoint, and you are entitled to it. So we should not make it in a way to show people that, you are wrong or we are right. No, there is no wrong, there is no right. It all depends on where you're looking at it from, and just to give us your viewpoint and your points. And then, if you are convinced, if you have tried or you have finally convinced us that, your viewpoint we should all abandon our viewpoint and accept yours, fine, we will all do that. And if you don't manage to do that, fine, alhamdulillah, you have also expressed yourselves. That is that's the primary aim of this platform. So I'm going to call our esteemed panelist today. The first person on this panel is Hajia Hamima Abdul Fattah. You're welcome. Have a seat. Thank you. And we have Jabir Nasir. Jabir Nasir is not with us yet. I think he's on his way here. We also have Papatika. Papatika just stepped out. Okay. We also have our own Ahmad, who is joining us online, who is unavoidably absent today, but he's online with us. So can you show yourself by a wave of hand so that we know you are you? Can you speak? Hello?
Yes, I'm speaking. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I'm speaking. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. It's afternoon in my part of the world. Good to be here with everyone.
It's afternoon here too. And
right.
And you're sure because you are an AI expert, so we just want to make sure.
You are not an AI.
You did not send an AI agent to represent you.
It's me.
Good.
It's me.
Good.
Yes.
So.
Yes, I'm loading, I'm linking, I can do everything.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So it's going to be like this. I'm going to ask first round of questions. So the first round is to introduce the topic, and then introduce yourself and also the topic. What do you understand by the topic?
Anyway, I read the topic and I jotted down some things anyway. And then also, today I also read about the topic again anyway from what has been sent in the group, understanding it. But I think I missed your part whereby probably you might have explained it. But then, since we are talking about romance, somebody sent me a particular video. There's a particular song, Despacito. It has been watched 8 million times, 8 billion. And it's crazy anyway. So he get curious and find out about the lyrics of the language. So the language is very dirty anyway. That's what he said, the word he uses anyway. And I would say, okay, it's a seductive language. It's not a dirty language because that's how they talk mostly. It's in their nature, in their language to talk in those things. They are passionate about whatever is it that they talk in the song. It's open discussion to them. So it's our own culture that we are trying to impose on their own culture, or saying we are judging, or we are being say it's too seductive, or it's too vulgar, it's too something of some sort. So you will have different cultures the way they talk about love, romance. In Hausa, if you are going to take, let's say, the literary or the literature, linguistic part, because mostly if you want to talk about anything, if there exists that thing in the culture, you'll see about the wisdoms and the adages. So how Hausa people or any culture talks about love or romance, you'll find out the karam maganganun dika, different kinds of wisdom. So the approach that I'm trying to take mostly when it comes to these things or these discussions is you take the cultural perspective, the language, the individual perspective, the societal perspective, maybe religious, you have to add it, and then see how all it fits into, or make a circular, or what everything or these buckets of knowledge talks about, or how you can talk about it in a nutshell. So for romance, what is the equivalent word in Hausa? There are different, in most languages you will see in Arabic, they have a wide range of kinds of way of expressing affection. If that, I'm using affection, so you see another English word, love, liking in Arabic, hope. They have different way. It has some components to it. Whatever word you use is intentional. Especially in the talking stage, what you will find out is that the words you use, like holding back in terms of the word you use, talks about the intention or the stage of the dynamic of the person you are trying to probably engage in some, let's say, activity. So you can say flirting is another word used. It's just talking about the stage. Expressing love, it means different thing than likening. And what I be crushing, you are crushing on somebody, it's a different. So there are stages to which somebody become comfortable talking to somebody, let's say a significant other, when we are talking about that kind of romance here. So this is just a preview or the way I love to talk about it. And then also, of course, we are talking about romance, we have to talk about the other part, the marriage, the parenting anyway. So I'm single, probably, let's say I'm single, I'm not married, so I will have to take the perspective of somebody who is single, and would love to hear somebody who is married. I'm not a parent yet, even though I might have to say something about parenting because I'm subjected to one. I'm a child, anyway I can view the parenting style of my parents, and then also probably think about how I should also raise my kids. So I will also kind of have a say in parenting somehow. So I will tend to go with credentials somehow or expertise, because I don't want just to be a discussion, okay, just because I can talk about things that I don't have more authority. If somebody have more authority about it, have more say, or he says will have more weight than to just say somebody. Yeah, so that's my say for now.
So when viewing romance under tradition, I feel like romance is a bit of a sensitive topic in northern homes because it's not something we get to see often. But then at SLE 6.0 last week, 2 weeks before, there were discussions, like mostly arguments, because my friend Jabri started a question. He asked if any of us had seen our parents kiss. And Jabir has seen his parents do that, but then most of the people that were here last week, the extent they saw was their parents hugging. Me personally, I haven't even seen my parents touch each other in front of us. So it was basically like sharing viewpoints, as he said. What's the word? Anyway, it's more of like discovering things you haven't seen before. And I feel like where you grow up, the place and the people you grow up with affects how you view romance. Jabir grew up in southern states, mostly with Christians. I grew up in southern states too, but I grew up with Muslim parents. So Muslim and very traditional parents, because we are from Hadejia, and those people are very like they stick to the roots of tradition. Anything that is new, that is modern, when it comes to romance, particularly, is like more of a taboo in the house. So basically, like this discussion, it's going to open my eyes, me personally, because I haven't seen romance in other people's houses, but I've seen romance in my house, and how I would define it is different from how somebody else would define it. So I hope you guys would.
Assalamu alaikum. For those who don't know me, I'm Abdulaziz Mujahid. I go by MJ. I would admit I'm relatively new to the topic because she told me about it yesterday, and I just wanted to attend to kind of witness the conversation and all. And the topic, if I'm not mistaken, is romance under the lens of tradition and modernity, yes? Yeah. Okay. Well, for those who know me, I'm a serial lover boy. So I'm not a stranger to romance. I like to define romance, but I would like to define romance first before I go into other details. Romance, simply to me, is an expression of love. Simple. And we all know that human beings, what sets us apart from other creatures, is that we are a creatively expressive species. Everything we do, we are very expressive about it. Every emotion, love, anger, joy, very expressive about it. Now, the scope at which we express it is defined by the kind of individual that we are. And I've had the notion a lot that romance is a new. I've had this notion before that romance is a new thing. It came with modernity and all, but I like to disagree sometimes because I believe that romance has always existed. And like I said, romance is an expression of love. Everyone's expression of love is different from the other person. People have always expressed love, no matter how subtly or loudly, but they have expressed love in a certain way. And I love to reflect on a story of the prophet that I've heard a lot of times, and I love to reflect on it because it's so cheesy, but it's also eye-opening, where he would take a bite of whatever food he's eaten, and he would place it on his plate, and his wife Aisha radiallahu anha will eat it. So it's his own way, or it was his own way of expressing how much he loved that. He was a very expressive person when it came to his love of his wives and all, but it shows that love can be expressed in things as little as just sharing the things that you eat. So normally I'm the kind of person that would love to hear what other people have to say first before I give my own views, but I just want us all to keep in mind that as much as we are viewing romance under the lens of two opposite things, tradition and modernity, we should keep our minds open that romance has always been expressed in both stratas. There is a traditional expression of love, that which we are kind of not used to, and we're not, because the modern expression of love is what we're used to. That's what we have set as our standard for what romance is. But that does not mean that we should sideline the traditional expression of love, which is the subtle things. So I'm just saying out there.
Tradition is something that has evolved over time from, like in Hausa we call it adabi, that is madubin rayuwar mu. So things that our ancestors have started doing. And they're doing it, and over time it has evolved to reach our own stage. So that is the parallel I'm going to look at. And the mechanisms, how does it change? What do we see as Romans in that mirror of tradition? And then what do we see as Romans in the mirror of modernity? So I'm going to go to my next question, or my first question. So what is the difference between love and romance? Is there a difference, or is it the same?
Okay, so mostly when people are in love, you will hurt the other partner. It's not romantic. So even when people are in love, they still need the romance for some reason. So that's the funny thing. So to somebody, he says it's not romantic. Okay, what do you mean it's not romantic? Okay, he doesn't chill when he comes. He just talks serious. So to some partner expressing he's not romantic, it means he is not expressing romance in the way she expects that person to express love. And the person as well can say, okay, I Matan Hausa, they are no romantic. I Mazan Hausa, they are no romantic. There are so many movies that you go and see. The recent one, I didn't know the name, Momo, and that other lady, I don't know her name. Lububu, I don't know her name. So you can see a typical person, the wife trying to express, because in the dynamic of the relationship, there is age difference. And of course, whenever it comes to household, the power dynamics changes everything. So romance, mostly when we talk about romance, for any typical house girl that says she is not romantic, she's trying to say, okay, probably he doesn't flirt with her or compliments her or what have you. Hardly it means physical affection. So for a married person, it's going to be different. If a wife or a husband say, my wife is not romantic, probably it might tend to be physical. It changes based on the people that are talking about it. So there's a difference, the way we talk about it. People in love say he's not romantic. So there is this difference in terms of the genders or the individuals. When it comes to love language, like we know popularized by Gary D. Chapman, I think. So if somebody finds himself saying, okay, it's not romantic, he doesn't talk to me, or it's probably a cry out for, that's how I want to be loved. Because you can express somebody can be giving compliments in terms of or quality time, because that's his love language and he thinks everybody is speaking that language. So one of the ways to find out whether your love language is the things you complain your partner is not doing to you, that you will feel the most is your love language. So that partner should express. Whereas the one that you think you are doing to your partner should appreciate it. It's not her love language or his love language. So you have to repass or you flip it. So even now that I'm saying love language, the love exists. They already agree they are an item, but then the way they continue to express is like a pledge. You have to do it every day. Assurance is like there is a doubt. Without fear, there is no love. Fear of losing the beloved. So the romance is like a fuel of keeping the fire. Anyway, even though I seen some other ladies when I went to an event, they are still not as beautiful as you are, and there is trouble with expressing love. Somehow the people tend to create drama. So I've seen you are the most beautiful woman I have searched. So you have looked at them. You have searched. You are trying to find better than. So it's a drama. So even drama is a kind of form of romance. It's not romantic. I cannot find somebody who's just too serious. So there are different ways of expressing romance, but when it comes to you have to also look at personality types. Somebody is shy, is an introvert, somebody is an extrovert. Somehow we all take our personalities, our upbringing to relationships. Our past experience, our traumas, and what have you. Trauma is a loaded word anyway. And then, where do we see romance? How do you practice? If you want to express love, sometimes we go and find the lyrics in the songs and then send it to her. I know the poets are the most romantic ones anyway. If you want to live forever, marry, a poet, because they will just disturb everybody with the poems and what have you. So, yeah. this is also another angle to look at. Where do we get our sense of romance in terms of the knowledge of romance? Do I read it in a book? Do I see somebody doing it? That gets to another question, and that's when the taboo comes in. Public display of affection might not be romance. You can be romantic in your private life, but then that's just because you didn't actually express it. Like Hausa people are very shy people. That's what people mostly take. So we are not romantic. We are just shy people, but we can be romantic. They are not mutually exclusive anyway. If you read the songs, tsakiya ta tsinke a ɗakin masoyina abun ne da kunya in sun kuya ɗauka. She said ɗakin masoyi. Probably she's talking about her miji, but then yet to go down and take it abun ne da kunya. So if you have a very conservative sex culture, in the literature of love, we have the liberal and we have the conservative. So even in the Western culture, they have the conservative people that don't talk about. I mean, it's not only in Africa that we are very conservative when it comes to romance or love. Even in the Western culture, that's why the feminist movement tends to liberate the woman in terms of, even biologically speaking, what they are saying is women are at disadvantage at expressing love. If expressing love means physical intercourse, intimacy, a woman can get pregnant and it's done, but the man can go out there. So the concept of contraceptions and condom really changes the way women express love, because she can be as promiscuous as a man. If physical romance is a way of expressing love, now women have that. So you can see that is a baggage of men tend to be more romantic because they have this luxury of biology favors them, nature favors them, and then women now are way back because she has to preserve herself, what they call chastity and what have you. This all boils into the social construct of who gets to express love or romance more without constraint, and who gets to hold based on biology, society, religion, dogma, and what have you. So this is what I have to say.
Thank you. At some point, Hamima was agreeing to all the points until it reached a certain level where she raised the red card. So I want you to pick up from where you are now disagreeing with his points, and then make your point from there. Thank you.
His points are great, obviously. But then, when he comes to segregate how men and women show romance based on the contraceptive measures, biology and stuff.
Physical attraction, if it means
that's one. But then, how I take love is that love is the feeling, but romance is the expression of that love that you have for someone. And obviously, they say men and women don't love the same, because for a man, providing for his family can be his way of expressing love. So that's romance on its own. And for a woman,
please go on.
okay. For a woman, I don't really know how women express love, because it differs. But then when he said physical attraction, the biology stuff, I feel like there is a clear difference between romance and lust. Because the men stuff they are saying, they are better at romance than women because they are at the advantage of nature and biology. Calm down. Men, like, they tend to have a higher... Yes, thank you. They tend to have, like, men... Okay. Men have a higher tendency of feeling lost than women because, you know, the concept of one night stands? Exactly. Very bad. But then, a woman can fall in love from a one night stand, but a man can be there just for him to satisfy his needs. So I feel like when it comes to romance and love between men and women, I'm not arguing, I'm just saying, like, there is arguments and then there is facts. The fact remains the same. It's different, but then expressing love, women are better at that. But then expressing sexual desire, of course, I hand it to you men. Like, it's for you guys.
Thank you, Hamima. You have tied certain knots that need to be untied. I don't know whether Mujahid can go ahead. So she has also introduced a different flavor into the conversation. Now, apart from difference between love and romance, are men more romantic than women, or women more romantic than men? Mujahid.
Calm down. Let me address the first question first. Is there a difference between love and romance? Like I said initially, romance is an expression of love. Sorry. As I said initially, romance is an expression of love. Now, to go into more detail, I would use an analogy, a basic one. Earlier, when I first stepped in, they were arguing whether bread is a food or not. So I'm going to use an analogy. Love is simply nutrition. There's no form to it or structure. It's simply nutrition. Romance is food, cuisine, fine dining. And this kind of establishes my point for the second question, in the sense that it is very, very subjective. There are people, like he said, his wife cannot eat bread, normal bread. Say bread and shawarma, pita, naan, all that. And there are people that you will offer them the finest Italian cuisine, and they will choose bread instead. Not just any bread, bread and Hadija, or a gay bread and that. And they will swear to you that is the most delicious thing that they have ever eaten, that agege bread. So it's very, very subjective. Which kind of brings me to my point of the second question. Are men more romantic than women? Isn't it limiting to kind of divide romance into just two spheres? Men romance and women romance. At some point in my life, a lady once looked at me and said, "I love like a woman." And it was supposed to make a lot of sense, because if you're thinking objectively, it's supposed to make a lot of sense, because women apparently love on a deeper level. But the fact that I, a man, love the way a woman loves proves that a man can love like a woman, and also proves that a woman can love like a man. So it is not definitive of gender. That single point proves that it is not gender. Conditioning. Because, and this is the narrative we keep peddling, there is man romance, there is woman romance. People will leave this room and with this idea that there is man romance and there is woman romance, they'll spread it to other people spread it to other people, and we start loving within that strata of what they believe man romance to be. I believe that we should not let ourselves be limited by labels. If you love a person, express that love your way, not a man's way. If you feel like writing a person a poem, do not check whether poem is a woman thing to do. Write a person a poem. It could be as simple as there was a movie I was watching recently where he's the kind of person, he's like me, he's the kind of person that is comfortable not showing too much, because that has been his defense against the world. Not showing too much. By showing too much, he believes he's giving the world ammunition to use against him, so he doesn't show too much. But he's very observant, he's very considerate. So the person that he's in love with never suffers, never lacks. So anything she wants, once he notices that she wants it, he gets it for her. He doesn't attach any other dramatic expression of love to it or anything. He just notices that she's always massaging her feet, so he gets her orthopedic shoes and he gives it to her. No poem, no flowers, no nothing. And because she was exposed to her friends that are always showing their own men's dramatic expression of love, she started questioning herself, does this guy really love me? Does she really, all that, and she kind of put space between him and her. And in that space that she put, she realized that she started having to actively express that she wanted something to other people before they did it. And she realized that she didn't have to do it with this person. And in his own small way, that was his own expression of love. And then, people now think, oh no, that is how men love. They don't really say anything. But he learned it from his mother, because that's how she expresses her love to him. So he learned his own form of love from a woman who probably learned it from a man who learned it from a woman. It has nothing to do with gender. And it's a very northern thing to do. Very, very northern thing to do. That we say, but I don't disagree with Kanu people. Look, Kanu are a different species. I know, but that's. I will say it honestly. I will say it the way it is. There is the objective nature of love. There is the Hausa nature of love, the Ariwa nature of love, and there is the Kanu nature of love. There's the Kanu nature of love, and it's there's always room for, like, it's about love and expression. We should just be very open-minded. There are things that shouldn't be limited by labels. It's just let yourself be. It's as simple as that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Perspective. And also, I just wanted to add regarding what triggers you. I think we need to go back to evolution. The concept of love, for me, I think originated from the human desire to survive. To survive, that is to procreate. That means to send your gene to tomorrow, to the future. So how do you do that? Is to have a union. And that union means that a man and a woman has to come together. But when you look at the let's say the early humans, how they live is they live on trees, in caves, secluded from the environment, because that's what keeps them safe. So if they are not safe, how do they come together? How do a man meet a woman and then have a union and then be able to send their DNA to the future? That means the man has to show capability of protecting the woman. And the woman has to show the capability of nurturing. That is also in a way of protecting the baby. So now, if you look at 4 million years ago, 5 million years ago, that means the show of affection will now be different than today. That is, for a woman to be in love or to continue to have that feeling of affection with a man is for that man to continuously express his ability to protect her. So probably be able to build a hut for her, be able to cut down trees, So by doing that, she will automatically continue to fall in love with that person. And that is a show of affection. That is romance 4 million years ago. And for her, being able to show to him that I can nurture your baby, I can do this, I can do that, is much different than it is today. And that goes back to my point that culture evolves from hundreds of years ago to today. And that evolution that we see today, I can remember when growing up, visiting my village, we go to Dendali. And that Dendali, you see men by the side. And what they do is just watch. They don't get involved in the activities. And the women, Now the ones in the middle of the dendeli who are dancing and playing all sorts of games, and thereby showing, and then deep into the dendeli activities, you find out some of the men sending out gifts, sending money or coming to. So it's all a way of, and that's the end of it. There is nothing else that happens apart from that. And then tomorrow you hear, ‘yan gidan suwa ne sun kai kuɗi, sun kai kayan zance, and that's the end of it. And that's the affection, that's the romance. So now coming to the last part of my question, I think at the end of this we round up.
We just have
Do we? Yes, but then I have one more round of question. So the question is, are Northerners or Kano people romantic or not? How does the way Northern people now, within this construct of religion, culture, and modernity, what qualifies how they express love, right or wrong? We get the gist. So I will start.
Can I come in?
Please come in.
Okay, yes. So sorry, I have very limited time before I get into a meeting.
Okay.
Yes. So are we? So when you say Northerners, I believe almost everybody there is a Northerner. So are we romantic or not? I'll say this is a very difficult one. For majorly two reasons, technically two reasons. One being what is love and what is romance? What is love and what is romance? So looking at it now from a Northern or Hausa perspective, one, technically two. And then that's one. And then secondly, have we accepted this definition of love and romance as really love and romance? Have we accepted that? Because we'll have to accept that. If we don't accept it, if we're really looking at something else, we're looking at flowers and poems and other things, and we don't get them, whatever we get wouldn't qualify as a show of love or a show of romance, technically. So mentally, these two things. But then I would say to a large extent, the traditional Hausa northern community doesn't so much fancy the idea of open display of open show or display of love and affection one, and romance. And this is deeply rooted in religion, one, and then in culture also. But then, not to a large extent, religion, because religion promotes show of affection, because there's no harm in showing affection to someone you love. But then, of course, within some limits, showing affection shouldn't go beyond some extent. Beyond a certain extent, there are things that should be very, very private. You can still show them, but then in private, but then in public, it shouldn't be shown. So we have those limits, and then the traditional conservative northern community or northern people have taken it, extra levels. We've really gone far in, beyond not showing that publicly, but even not engaging in things that amount to love and romance, even privately. We don't do that. So I would say we're not totally bad, 100%, but there's still room for improvement, especially with regards to how we privately show romance and affection to the people that we really love. And this are our spouses, one, our kids, our parents, and even our loved ones, our partners, people that we are in love with. So there's this need, more needs to be done. There's need for, yes, we need to do better. This is not ideal. We can do better, but we are somewhere. Yes, so that's my assessment technically.
Thank you so much for finding time to join us today. Despite your schedule, we had to slot you in and have your views. Thank you very much. And we don't mind if you drop off after to continue with your schedule of the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Murtala. Thank you so much. I'll be following. I'll be with you guys for the next 5-10 minutes, but I will just be listening.
Awesome.
I'll be with you.
Awesome. So I'm handing over the mic to pick up with the discussion. Papatika.
Anyway, so back when we were talking about the idea of another romantic, it's diverse because I understand this when it comes to Fulani, it's different because if somebody loves a girl, mostly he follows her around. When she went out to sell whatever she's selling, the moment you talk to her, you will see sanda. You will be on the tree, you will be just following her, like anyways talking what they will say these days, if it's not mutual anyway. So that's the idea probably for planning, because you will just show, you protect her, kind of follow her around, be with her. It will be an injustice to say northern Nigerian people are romantic because there are established courtship stages, established, known, accepted, that you will express your love. Zanchi, but it's diverse because in other parts of the country, let's say in Yobe, in other parts, Zanchi is shunned upon, is something of taboo. Even in Jigawa, they recently banned it because of the mishaps and what have you. But if you look at the cultural structure, like you said, Dendeli, it's a way of choosing the one you wish to actually get married to. So whatever they are doing is courtship behavior there, and somebody is actually seeing it and accepting it. So we have our own. We cannot say we are not romantic. She's trying to be romantic for somebody to be our husband. So it establishes the culture of, okay, we want somebody to choose. Somebody told me when he went for India for his master's, people around India, I mean, the campus are coming to see them because, okay, they were surprised. They actually get married because they love each other. Whereas we can say India is romantic because we've seen their movies about romance. It is actually as a result of them not being romantic in their culture. That's why they are putting it in their movies, to let the generations, the past generation, that marriage can be about love, cannot be just about arrangement. But here somebody will say, you are not as romantic as Shah Rukh Khan. You are not as romantic as Shah Rukh Khan. Whereas in their culture, they are not as romantic. So we take romance from another culture, we see just the surface. If you go, you have to go deep down. Because in Indian culture, it is about the families finding the suitors. Whereas in Hausa, it's about the person finding it in Dendeli. And we already have Zanchi. That's why, like she has different suitors. She can choose. The choice is ours. That's romance. She's choosing the first person that she thinks can be romantic to her. So it's well-established phenomenon that we have a way of expressing love all the way to marriage. So it's well-established. But then the trouble is this, like you said, we are not very good at evolving. All these things that you said about a man providing for the family and a woman nurturing for the family is still within us. But like we know, back in the Industrial Revolution, we are talking about the working condition. Now, when we have the working condition, the people of the past have already worked for good working conditions, hazard and what have you are not there. Now we are talking about job satisfaction. So the previous generation or the previous time will work and then we'll be adding on top. So we are always raising the bar. Just providing for your family is the bare minimum. Everybody is doing it. Now I want extra. So that's why we need the flowers, we need the poems, we need the thing, because it's already been expected of you to provide for the family. Yes. No. What I'm saying is whatever form of affection. Buying flowers, like the woman said, is the thoughts that counts. So in different cultures they have a gift giving. Gift giving is a general concept. Be it flower, be it money, be it anything. Because in Kano, gift giving is the primary language of every man. If he doesn't love her, he will not give her anything. if he loves her, that's why he's giving her things. It's not like they are gold diggers or they are materialistic. That's what the culture reimpose a reward. If you have a rival and you are not given, you are stingy, you will not get married to that lady. You will not woo her, you will not court her. So a culture defines, an environment defines whether it's a romantic or not. Yeah. So in Kano, that's why the woman said men are not romantic, because the culture rewards somebody because you've seen your friends giving gifts to the lady and he married her eventually. That what is working. It works. Let me do it. I'm not going to even think twice or explore. So that's why the woman perceive, okay, we just get given, and if you have a mismatch in terms of what she thinks. So back to my point in terms of time given. So if you take the other form of expressing love, quality time, akwai ranar zance, you will be given a day to come every day to do zance, maybe twice a week. House culture supports, or the zance culture supports the acts of time given. Quality time also. Even act of service. In some large homes, if you want to express your love for a lady, what you mostly do is, idan a gidan ana sai da abinci, gidan da gandu ne ko ana yin wani abu, you go there, yaya wane. That's how it started. And then he helps her with the house errands. And everybody knows they are in love. So act of service, right? It's another form of expression. This is just the culture or the establishment that we overlook. And they see them as romantic or romance in some sense, because dama na kake gani kana kwaɗayin na makota, kana kaga naka. So in Hausa culture, if you look, if you dissect, if you digest, you will see all these things. They are not loud. They are just low key, but then they are there. So to abandon and say we are not is just based on the demand that we are now asking for. So being romantic sometimes is just doing the English things. If you can do the Hausa thing, the traditional thing, and do the English thing, if it is required of you, that's the only way you show romance. It's expected of you, it's demanded, because that's just the cherry on top. You've done the bare minimum. Just be average of the guy that just comes in. Add a little things that she requires. You are romantic. Also her, if she is required of you to write her forms, you do that. If she doesn't require. Somehow anything when we are talking about love, the more you talk about love in its various perspective, philosophical, religious, psychoanalytical, psychiatric form of love, it doesn't become love. It becomes something else. That's what they say. The more you talk about it in its various form, it's going away as the pure love that we think, you are just analyzing it, because expressing why you love the one you love sometimes reduces the love, because when those reasons go away, you are no longer in love. You will not look at those things. So romance is there in the culture. It's just that it's a mismatch, and people will not sit down and talk about it. They will just say their piece with no evidence. I have given you evidence, quality time, acts of service, the courtship behavior. The foundation has been laid. It's left for you guys to accept it as love, romance or not. So it's there.
Thank you so much.
I would say they're romantic because everyone is entitled to their own definition of what love is, if you're being honest. So, yes, are they romantic? Do people wish they were romantic in other ways? Yes. They wish. Do I wish that kind of people are romantic in other ways? Yes, because even right now, even though we are not really segregating into gender or anything, we're just saying are kind of people romantic. Every single one of us here, if we say Kano people, we are only picturing the men. Have you dated a Kano girl before? This is a Kano girl's definition of love. For more than 4 hours long calls, Ramadan basket, Fridays and che, shawarma, and abaya. But I agree. I'm being very subjective here. That is not necessarily the standard of what a Kano girl is. I'm just talking from my own experience and from what I've had and the rest. So we should also keep in mind that when we are talking about whether northern people are romantic or not, we should also factor in the other gender. If they want us to act a certain way, if they wish or everyone wishes that kind of people were romantic in this way, then they should show a semblance of the romance that they want matched. You can't keep saying that these people should change into this version of love if you refuse to change your own version of love. They're doing what they're comfortable with, you're doing what you're comfortable with, and it will continue. So we have to step out of our comfort zone to show that this is this is that. What was the third point I was going to make, sir? The banter between her and Augusta, I feel it comes out of a place of bias. I always say love, I'm giving it a label here, even though I just said we're not supposed to give it labels. Love, true love, can only be known as true love at the end of it. While you are in a relationship with somebody, you cannot call what you have for that person love because it has not yet reached love. Love is a confluence of emotions. While I am dating you, while I'm pursuing you, I am attracted to you. There's attraction. There's curiosity. While we are in a relationship, there comes respect. There comes lust. When I marry you, there comes familiarity, comfort. Now it is a responsibility, and it is at the end of all that and the addition of all these things that we can call what we have love. So in a way, we are all speaking out of experience of it, like out of it. We do not have experience of what love is, so we are only giving what we feel love should be. So we should just keep that in mind. Thank you.
So I will allow Papatika 1 minute to wrap up with his counter.
So mostly the dynamics, we haven't talked about the dynamics because the way a man loves, or the general way women, what they say is men give love and women keep it alive. So there is kind of the dynamic of you expressing too much love at the early stage and then you get not chosen. So yeah, if you show love at the first time, the woman will test you, will find out whether you are really meaning it or not. So there is this dynamic of holding back, like at the first stage of early relationship or the talking stage, whatever stage, courtship stage, we then overshow the love because like you said, sometimes the problem is, okay, he will be questioned. He doesn't have a self-esteem. Why is he desperate? Is he desperate? Okay, he's desperate. He has low self-esteem. He's not my guy. He doesn't have pride. It's complex anyway, to some extent. So kind of people, in terms of the women, the way they express love is, it's actually not even women. In general culture, the woman should be pursued. The man is the pursuer. They receive, they accept. And to some people, if I want to say this is the highest form of a lady being romantic, is for a lady to say she loves a man before he say he loves her. In some sense, or to be direct instead of showing the confusing lights, green light. Green light is for car, is for traffic, not for love anyway. So these are some of the things. And then if you, going back to the literature again in Kasar Hausa, I think the contemporary Hausa and the Hausa back then that some of us know is very different. You will see the way we write letters. Okay, I am aging myself somehow. Kalaman soyayya da ake amfani da su, alala zuciyata, manjagara kwashe kwata zuciyata, kunin zakin raina, wai. As early as 5 years old, you know all these words because this is just the vocabulary, what you have tested. Kunu is yana da zaki, so kunin zakin raina, so just an expression of, so we are that romantic at the early stage, very. It's just that there is too much noise now, and then we live in a contemporary world that we didn't actually go back to those things. So I don't want clinical psychologists. That's why I say if we start talking about love in terms of all these theories, it changes. So like he said, in stages, in terms of the way people go from one stage to another, there was talking stage. In Kasar Hausa, in the culture, you actually don't show physical affection or passion or lust to the one you love because it's kind of a taboo. It's by stages. So mostly it's just intimacy. So there is this Heisenberg triangle of love. There is liking, there is compassion, romantic love. In infatuation, purchase love, empty love. Somehow there are three components of love, and it changes. It's not like it's static. At first stage, you're just talking, no physical attraction. Then comes lust. Then at the end comes commitment because you are engaged. Somehow it moves. Even in marriage, it's a cycle. It keeps repeating. Somehow you will you will lose the infatuation or the romance after the honeymoon. So I have to rekindle it. That's why they say love is a vow. Because even somebody who is not sane, he doesn't show commitment, he doesn't show physical attraction, it's just there. That's just infatuation. So love is a vow. It's only after the honeymoon stage ends, that's when for the married people, the love starts actually. So there are different, to end the quote, there is this thing that I want to end the quote with by a particular doctor, Dr. Orion Taraban. He said, most of the experience of love can go by any other name. The core of love, the essence of love, is that which has no other name. That's what just he defines love as. So all this we are saying romance, blah, blah, blah. Love is there as it is. But then the essence of it is there, the core is there. But then these are all things that we want to wrap our hand because we don't understand it. We just want to live by it, we want to express it, we want to live it, we want to be with it. That's love.
Awesome, thank you very much. This is a very nice ending, and it has gone like better than what I expected, truly. We had engaging discussions, very educative. I learned a lot myself. So as the lovers of love that we all are, I'm sure from the audience we have a couple of remarks, additions, subtractions.
But let me just show you my own, is it premise or business? I believe that it's very important that we define what we are talking about and keep it within a certain box. Very, very important. My mind works in this way. That means we start venturing out, then it's just a big, massive market, right? Everybody can have 1 billion points, but if we keep it in that restrained box, then there's a very limited number of points. For me, I believe romance is anything that evokes a feeling of desire. Anything that a man or a woman does to evoke a feeling of desire from that other person for yourself, towards yourself. And it's also like a form of flattery. That's how I look at it. Being romantic is doing some sort of flattering kind of thing. Something that you do that will make someone feel wanted, make someone want to want you. I think is very different from love because there are different types of love. The love I have for my mother, my brother, my friend. There's a love I can have for my best friend of 20 years. This is how I feel towards him. That I care for him, concerned about him. This is how I feel towards. So if we keep going back to love, I think romance is very, very different. Love is a whole different thing. Romance and being romantic is a very separate, standalone conversation. It's about what do we do that evoke feeling of desire in another person. That's for us. That's just basically what it is. And now, if that is the case, based on this, my own foundation, then, for example, now you can see when a woman says, for example, a woman can know that a man loves her, but she'll say he's not romantic. Doesn't it sound like a paradox? Or he loves me, but he's not romantic. That means that these are very different things. These are very different things. So it means that he's not doing the things that will put her in a certain type of spiritual and emotional state. She knows he loves her, but she wants to be getting a certain type of act. This can be words, whatever form it may be, an act that will put her in a certain type of spiritual and emotional state. So that's why I believe that's a very different conversation. And that's why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Aisha, our mother Aisha will ask, how is that rope? Is it still tight? And he'll say what? It's as tight as how it used to be, or if not even tighter. So this is a form of what she's trying to assure, okay, she knows that he loves her. She's married to the best person in the world. But she wants to hear certain things that will put her, because yana faɗa mata abin nan yanzu akwai wani irin zaƙi da za ta ji a zuciyarta. Yawwa, we're talking about it today. So I think that's basically what it is. I think some years back we had like a very crazy long conversation with my sister regarding the concept of falling in love and romance, and how it has been, it's a very heavily influenced Western ideology. All of us in this room have been influenced by watching, okay, maybe for different generation, but I grew up watching Disney. And I watch a lot of, Cinderella, Waiting, Rapunzel, and all this type of things. And all those things affected how we thought about love, especially the whole concept of falling in love. What does it even mean to fall in love? What does it mean to even fall in love? What does romance feel? So, exactly. Dole, there's a construct that has been created and has been infused into our mind. Now, I'm not talking about whether that is right or that is wrong, but that exists and it has been created and it has all shaped what we feel is acceptable. Misali, yanzu a cikin kauye, let's say 100 years ago back, maybe in Takai or Rano or somewhere. Soyayya za a ce ai yaya Khadija wacce nan rana Umar ya kawo mata kaza. And now she's about to come of age and her boyfriend Sadiq did not bring her kaza. Why is she requiring kaza? Because of her own understanding of romance is akawo kaza. That is basically what it is. So in bata ga an kawo mata kazan nan ba ta ce yana so na amma kuma me yasa baya so? It's not romantic, baya nuna mun kaunan nan. Because of she's influenced by me ta gani. What did she see as that? And that's why all of us now are mentioning flowers, poems, because of this is what we were influenced by. And every culture is going to have their own, form. And I think in the whole idea of whether Northerners are romantic or Northern men are romantic or not, I think there's a very, very interesting problem going on. There's an issue of lack of emotional maturity and emotional connection with oneself. What we're having is a lot of men confuse love and lust. Everybody knows that, but let me tell you why this is important. A northern man can come to a girl's house and say, ina sanki. Truthfully, he doesn't know me, ake nipi de ina sankin. He will see a girl's photo and just be like, you might see all these perverts online, ina sanki ga lambana. He thinks once he feels feelings of lust towards a woman, it means he likes the woman. He doesn't actually know what that is. So he doesn't even have self-awareness of his own emotions going on in himself. He doesn't know how to push it out there. There's so much disconnect with his emotional and spiritual part that he doesn't even know that this is his testosterone speaking. Or in a woman's, condition, her estrogen that is speaking. So he doesn't even know that's what's going on. He just believes that love is energy, maybe sha'awa or something towards a woman. Ai shine alaman ina son macen kenan ta min aikin min. Once he just feels attracted, kin min ina son ki. And that's why the woman will be like, baka so na, no, ina son ki. And truthfully, he is actually right because he's feeling, if I didn't like you, I'm not going to be feeling attracted towards you. And that has led to that level of disconnect that northern women feel. They'll be like, this detachment, this coldness, this, because of somebody can only meet you at the level that he has met himself. And I think culturally, northern men, we have not done this work of really mentoring our spiritual and emotional parts to be mature. People even thousands of years ago, if we look at the Arabs, the Bedouin Arabs 2,000 years ago, they had this connection with their emotions. They understood what they felt. They knew the distinctions. We don't really have the distinctions for a certain group. No, I think the enlightened amongst us whom have studied all sorts of literature, from religious literature to, modern, whatever literature, we've achieved that level we've transcended to reach that level. But I think there's still a whole lot of people whom there's still this disconnect that he doesn't truly know what love is. He is confused, and Itama, she is confused. She doesn't know what she truly wants. Is it that she wants what Bollywood are showing? Is it that so it's a whole mess. We're having cultural clashes, and we must recognize that cultural clashes. Ghana, abin na al'adan Ghana Bature ya shigo shi ma ga wani contemporary na Nigeria, to kuma ya matsi ya fara zama wani tekun daban. So I think the last thing also is there's also this issue of physical connection. This whole coldness that we keep mentioning of romance, a huge portion of this word romance that we keep mentioning today has to do with PDA, public display of affection. And as Africans, today at least, we have never really been a very, physical, When I traveled out some time back, once I dropped in the airport, a lady just came and embraced me. Hi, Suleiman, welcome for me. And this was the first time I was ever embraced by a lady that is not my sister or my mother. And I was so scared. My body, I got goosebumps. I was so confused what was going on. But I was like, this is something very intimate. And for them, it was something very basic, right? So when we don't do these things, we feel like, okay, this physical connection, all this hugging, kaza, and we're like, we are not. May I believe that it's not actually true. I believe Africans are actually show physical love. And let me tell you a reason. Idan ka je ƙauye, musamman ka je riga na Fulani, when two men are walking on the road, you see them hold their pinky finger together. Have you seen this thing? And they'll hold their pinky finger together, they'll move. And be like, no, other men are not physical. No. Wannan kwalla hannu ai ba da kowa ake yi ba. They are doing it because of this, a certain type of connection he has. He likes him as a friend. He's cool. It's a bromance. It's a very type of male type of, likeness for another male, respect, whatever it may be. Now, we're just having, with culture, religion, and all sorts of things going on within the mix. There's a lot of confusion about what's appropriate, what's not appropriate, cultural expectations, not wanting certain looks on you. There's a reason why a man in Kano is not going to hold his wife's hand and be moving like because of that shit in his kind. But if that didn't exist, will he do it? So we don't actually know. How will we actually have behaved if all these labels and stereotypes should be dropped, right? Yeah.
Thank you so much for those views. Okay.